Hi guys, welcome to my crazy space. Did I get your attention? Now let's color something sweet. I'm thinking sweets and chocolate. And we have a perfect page for it. The first thing I did was grab my ruler and pencil to extend the borders, and I drew the lines all the way to the edges of the page to frame everything nicely. Then I headed over to Pinterest and searched for anything chocolate related, chocolate shop, lollipops. Basically, anything sweet. I browsed through a bunch of references and now I finally have an idea of how I want this page to look. I wanted to start with the sky, so the first thing I did was turn this little light into a chocolate pop. Then, for the sky, I decided to go in with my lightest blue. I was planning to keep the sky nice and light, then add different colored M&Ms or just little round sweets falling from the sky. I'll show you what I mean. After using a pencil to sketch out the cloud shapes, I picked these 4 shades of blue and started layering them into the clouds. I also used the same shades to finish filling in the rest of the cloud area. I held the markers at the bottom and went in with a flickering method. Then the next thing I did was bring out my ruler and start adding circles in different shapes and sizes. I colored them in using different marker colors like red, green, yellow, blue, and purple. After coloring everything in, I went back in with my white pen to add some highlights and make them look extra glossy and shiny. For the light stand, I used different shades of brown to give it that rich, chocolatey look. Then added some white highlights to make it look glossy. I also covered up the dark lines and added little dots all over for some extra texture. And just like that, we're done with this side. Now let's do the other side too. And our sky's done. How does it look? Anyways, let's move over to the building. For this building, I honestly wasn't thinking too much about it. My plan was simple. Pick out a few shades of brown, but first, start by adding little cubes with a pencil, kind of like creating a tiled pattern. Then go in with my browns and color them in, and that will make it look like little chocolate cubes. And that was exactly what I did. After coloring everything in, I felt like the cubes needed a little more definition, so I brought in my white gel pen. I added some highlights along the top and one side of the cubes, just drawing little lines to outline them. It gave the chocolate cubes a bit more dimension and made them pop. After that, I went over each cube again from the beginning, toning down the white highlights so they wouldn't look too bright. Then I went back in with my colored pencil and added some color over the areas where the white highlights were before, just to blend everything together. And that's it. Does it look chocolatey to you guys? For these pillars, there are 3 of them. So I decided to go in with my pencil and add big cubes, just like chocolate cubes. Then I brought in the same browns and colored them all in. But this time, instead of using a white gel pen, I used a white colored pencil to add highlights along the top and the sides. I also added little chocolate drips to give them that melted chocolate effect. And honestly, I'm loving how these are coming together. And of course, I had to add some gold. So I brought out my gold shades and added little touches of gold wherever I felt they would look good, just to give the whole building a little extra sparkle. Then I moved on to the doors and windows. I used my ruler to add some patterns and create more defined sections, especially around the windows on the pillars. I wanted the lines to look thicker and cleaner, so I used the ruler to space everything out before coloring. Once I had the pattern laid down, I went in with a light gray and colored everything in. For the lights inside, I wanted that warm orange and yellow glow. So I picked out a few shades of yellow and layered them inside the windows and doors. After building up the colors, I brought in a dark gray and some black to go over the doors and windows again. This helped define the edges, add more depth, and make the whole thing look a little more dimensional. Then I went over to the shop front glass area, and what I decided to do first was turn these heart shapes into same chocolate candies falling from the sky. Then I colored in the window frames. Then I started laying down the colors, starting with my lightest yellow and gradually building it up to orange. I went ahead and colored the candies and the cake off camera. Now let's continue with the balloon. I also brought in my gel pen and my brush gel pen. I used the brush gel pen to add lots of little highlights, and this is what our page is looking like so far. What do you guys think? Anyways, let's continue. For the upper part of the building, I didn't want to use the same cube pattern again, so I decided to switch things up with a crisscross pattern. I used my ruler to draw it out, then started by coloring the windows with a light gray. After that, I brought in different shades of brown and layered them to give the building more depth. Finally, I used a white-colored pencil to add some highlights, and that part was done. For these flowers, I didn't actually want to color them like flowers, so I decided to turn them into little circles instead. I used my ruler to draw the circles and then colored them using the different candy colors falling from the sky. And I don't know if you noticed, but it's actually snowing. So, of course, I'm going to add even more snow. The reason I decided to make it a snowy scene is because, well, if it were hot outside, all that chocolate would melt. And it's done. What do you think?